The Tech Disruptors podcast is brought to you by The Average Dad Tech Store. Get all of your latest and greatest tech at averagedadofficial.com, and Stellar Data Recovery. Recover your lost data when it matters most. Go to stellarinfo.com for more information. Now on to the show.
My left video just went viral.
I'ma strike back and take your whole empire. Spontaneous combustion. I'm on fire. I'm on fire. I'm on fire. I'm on fire. I'm on fire.
Hello and welcome to the Tech Disruptors podcast. I was having some trouble kicking. It did not want to go live.
That's a new intro too. That was pretty good, Darren. Add that little spicy stuff. I like that. Yeah.
Stuff in the beginning. Yeah. Good. AI.
That's exactly what I was just going to say.
Yes. Yeah. Welcome to the Tech Disruptors podcast. My name is Darren. My usual co-host is this guy here,
Jason.
And semi-regular co-host is this guy. Hang on that way.
Hey everyone, I'm Devin.
And we are the Tech Disruptors. We are your weekly source of news, AI reviews, and the crazy world of tech that is. And, you know, Devin, it's been a while since we've had you on, but it's nice to have you back first and foremost.
Yeah, thank you. I'm excited to be back. It has been too long.
It has been too long. Now, Devin, he's been away and visiting these gaming conferences, building PCs. He's gearing up for another 24-hour stream. Is that right?
Not well, I mean, it could technically go till 24 hours, but the goal is 1,000 minutes, which is right about 17 hours.
17. And I get that because, I mean, you want to leave some time to sleep. So, you know, there's also,
we'll see
it's fine. If the party goes on, the party goes on.
Hey, I'll be honest. My kids watch what's that guy who screams all the time? He's a gamer. God, I can't think of his name. One of those guys, but they're like streaming, and like I was watching one of the streams, and he's literally laying in bed sleeping, like, and he's streaming. Like people watch him sleep. What the? So listen, Devin, I mean, come on.
Yeah, I'm just
people
saying.
Would like to watch you sleep, maybe.
Yeah.
Now, Devin, just for those who are interested in watching that, when is that happening? It's the end of July.
End of July, July 26th.
Right.
That's the plan.
And Devin is also going to be taking over semi-hosting duties for myself here while I'm visiting some family in Australia. But we're actually going to be doing a bit of a first because we're going to try to do a live show where I'm in Australia, Devin is where he is, Jason where he is, and I don't know how that time zone difference is going to work.
Yeah,
we're going to try and do something.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
It's 13 hours.
Yeah.
I think is the difference. So it's going to be.
You need to get a Starlink. Go out in the middle of the desert.
I don't know.
Next to all the not cockroaches. I'm sorry, the scorpions, the spiders, whatever they have there, and then do it right there.
I actually think
doing a remote podcast where we're all just going to go out into fields. Like
that's it.
Hey, we need to get like one of those power bank companies. We need to get them to sponsor us so we can get one of those.
I just ordered a Jackery, so let me know if I need to send it back. It's on its way. It's going to be here like tomorrow.
I almost got a Jackery that came with the solar panels. It was a kit, and it was like half off or something. But I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do with it.
I didn't get the solar panels because I was like, I'm never going to be podcasting sitting out in the middle of a field.
And
right?
now you've got a reason.
But now you might. You never know.
Now, Devin, let me ask you, what did you buy the Jackery for? Because I watch a lot of these van life people, and that's apparently how they function in their van.
So really what it came down to is I've started buying and selling enough PCs that I want to be able to go meet somebody up at a police station or something and be able to just boot the computer up there instead of having to, bring somebody to my home, go to their house, or just, meeting up somewhere and just hoping that the computer works. Like at least
that's a really good idea. Because I'm on Facebook Marketplace and I got like a few like projectors and like show me how it works. I'm like, well, it's kind of hard to turn a projector on. So I'm like, if I had a Jackery, I could take it in my trunk and like, look, I'll turn on right here in my car and you can see it works. That's a really good idea.
I know with some pickups they have the 110 volt plug in the back. I unfortunately don't have one, but a Jackery I completely understand why.
There's a bunch of them out there. There's another company that I was looking at that were really, really good. And I want to use it for whole house, but that's just too expensive right now.
Yeah.
Well, I think is it Anchor does the Solix. So Solix is those ones that are supported.
Echo,
the whole power.
Echo is something does one too, and it's really good.
Echo V? Yeah.
Not Echo V. That's the thermostat company.
Oh, okay. Okay, sure. Amazon Echo. Now, actually, that's actually a good segue to our first story for today. So you guys may remember this, that Gemini, Google, has said that Gemini is going to start rolling out to Nest speakers. And some people are reporting that, yes, in fact, we are starting to see Gemini pop up on Nest speakers. So this was an article that was on, I believe it was The Verge. Some people are saying that they're seeing those bluish purple lights that we associate with Gemini starting to pop up on their speakers. So I don't know if they're doing some beta testing or if it's rolling out to certain people. But I mean, this was mentioned back in December. Yeah. So we're going into May now. So 5 months later, almost 6 months later, I guess it's finally happening, right? Like Gemini's.
Well, I've got a Nest speaker, but for some reason, my daughter had it in her work area and had paint on it. And so I was going to put it in a room so she could listen to music. And it won't connect. Like it just will not connect anymore.
Can I just interrupt you for a second, Jason? How smart is your Nest speaker? Because mine has got to be the dumbest fucking thing. And the only thing that's going to save this thing is Gemini.
I never really used it myself. I got it free with something when I bought something else. I gave it to my daughter for listening to music. I have the Google tablet and with the smart speaker base, and it works fantastic. I was having some issues where like I have a smart ceiling fan. I'll say, hey, turn on the fan, and then it'll turn the fan on and you can whatever. And it kept saying my S25 Ultra kept saying, sorry, to turn off a ceiling fan, you can either walk up to the switch, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? Come to find out, it was logged into the wrong account, which wasn't associated with my home account.
Right.
But besides that, it's like, here you go. Your fan's on. Like, I know. It's spinning. You don't have to tell me. That's the only downside I don't like about it. But I haven't had any issues with any of my Nest stuff. So,
what about you, Devin?
I have been honestly looking for a good excuse to get rid of all of my Amazon stuff.
Yes.
And honestly, this might be it. Because I imagine that the Amazon stuff is probably a ways behind getting any smarter anytime soon.
Well, they got the new Amazon Plus, Alexa Plus or whatever. Didn't they have that released? And a lot of them are starting to roll out now. I have the Astro, and they're saying that's the last device to get anything updated because it's been out so long.
Yeah.
The only other device I have with Amazon is, I mean, I was talking to Darren with the Vivo Ultra. It doesn't support any watches, but like something like a Amazfit. And Amazfit actually has Alexa built in, which is really strange to me. Yeah. But it works fine. It's just kind of a strange thing. But yeah, I'm not a big Alexa fan because if you decide to get rid of Amazon Prime for any reason, is it going to affect the responses? I don't know.
Well, you know what's funny? You know what I do in my house? Because my son, we have one of the ones like you see in the photo here, but we also have one of those little like hockey puck ones, the little tiny ones. So we had one in his room to wake him up in the morning because he likes to sleep in. And my son's 12, so he's becoming a preteen, koala. So basically, we have one of these in the living room, and my wife usually plays music when she's cooking, whatever. But I've gotten to a habit now because it's so dumb and it never gives any answers. So like my son will be like, what's the weather today? And it'll be like, I'm sorry, I can't do this, blah, blah, blah. So what I do now is I've gotten the habit of like doing the voice of Gemini, of like Google. So my son will be like, what's the weather today, Google? And I'm like, the weather today is, and I'll just kind of like do it from a distance as far as I can be away from the speaker to see if it'll catch.
Interesting. I have the Google Home Max. Do you remember those? The real big speakers. And I bought 2 of them when they were clearance because they don't support them anymore. And I had them in stereo. I ended up giving one to my dad. But I kept one, and it's still, I think it still uses Google Assistant. And I haven't, it's very accurate. It gives me weather. I mean, it does everything. Closes my garage door, opens it. I mean, everything.
I mean, my son also speaks to our Nest speakers at like lightning speed. Like he'll speak so fast that it just won't pick up. Like, who is it? Like, what's the weather today? And like, Google's like.
What I've noticed too, though, like my kids have one in their room, like a little alarm clock, and it's under my account still because they're too young. And it tends to recognize my voice, which it should, because of that voice match more than theirs. So like, Dad, it's not working. So I'll go in there and say the same exact thing, and it'll work right away. So maybe there's something to do with that as well. I don't know.
I don't know. I think Gemini might be the only thing that can save that line because I mean they're kind of getting rid of the Google Assistant like across the board.
Well, once Apple releases theirs and Siri's, Siri's so much more advanced.
Honestly, I'm really excited because I think this is going to be really, really good for the home, the Google Homes and everything.
Yeah.
And then they're just going to kill them anyways. They're just going to stop making them. That just seems
like the Nest thermostat. Like, hey, we're not going to support the Gen 1 anymore.
Exactly. Yep.
Sam, welcome to the show, buddy. Sam joining us late, but always great. How are you, Sam?
Good. I kind of came in the middle of the speaker talk. I actually have the little, Nest Home.
Yeah.
It's a little hockey
puck.
puck. It works fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it works
like
fine.
those.
Yeah. I have an old garage door. It's an old, so I don't think I'm not going to spend $1,000 to get a garage door.
Upgrade it.
Yeah, I can just push a button and it works. Like, I don't care.
Well, Sam, I went to Wise, and Wise has a kit that plugs into almost any garage door opener, and Wise links to Google Home. So now you can't, like if a robber comes to my house and, hey, Google, open this garage door. It asks for a code. Like you have to put a pin to open it. You can always close it, but it asks for a pin.
Right. Like I say, it's an old LiftMaster. It's like probably 15 or 20 years old. So I'm like, who cares? So I replaced the door, but not the actual unit. So it's fine. It works all good. I'll just push a button. It's cool.
There you go.
As long as it opens.
Yeah.
It's funny. Like, so in Australia, a lot of people don't have automatic garage doors. Like they don't actually have garage doors, to be honest with you. It's like just an open place to cover your car. Because
like
a lot of the
carport.
Thing,
like a carport, So I remember when I first came here to Canada, I think the very first house we moved into was quite an old garage door opener, and the system, the mechanics of it blew and the thing wouldn't open. So I remember like I had a moment of panic because like I didn't realize there was like the release lever and then you just do it manually. So I'm in the fucking garage, the thing's not moving. And I'm calling my father-in-law. I'm like, I'm trapped in the garage. Like, what do I do? And he's like, what do you mean you're trapped in the garage? I'm like, this stupid door won't open. I can't get out. And he's like, you're an idiot. Like, there's like a release latch. He's like, just go and pull the little red lever and then lift it up manually. But yeah, I was like literally trapped for like a good.
Well, that's there because the power can go out,
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, right. I know. But I mean, I never had that experience, right? Because we didn't have a garage when I was a kid growing up. Like it was just a carport, a place to keep the rain off your car, essentially.
Interesting.
But yeah, fun facts. Yeah. Now, speaking of cars, Apple has finally released their CarPlay Ultra, but we've got some bad news for you all. You won't be able to use it unless you own an Aston Martin.
Oh, I have 3 of them. I've already used it. It's fantastic.
A fucking Aston Martin? Are you joking me? Like I saw this and went, I'm never gonna have.
Hold on, Darren. What do we know about Apple? I'm not saying they're bad devices, but everything is expensive. So it makes sense that they're involved with this initially with a more expensive brand. It'll go to Mercedes, BMW, as Ferrari. These manufacturers. Yeah. Ferrari, Lamborghini.
They're going to go through the 8,000, premium car models before it finally.
Germany, Italy. Yeah. Before they get to the US, there's no real luxury.
But I'm just going to ask you this generally question. Because I was thinking about this today when I saw this article. How many Aston Martins do you see in a month? Like how many? Like if you had to guess.
In my town, I've seen 2.
Okay.
I've seen a couple. Well, and the reason why is I work at a country club sometimes. So I've seen a few there, but not many. I'd say 3, maybe 3 or 4.
Devin?
Last year.
I don't know. I saw a Lamborghini yesterday, but not
good enough. Not good enough.
No, that's not good enough for Apple.
It's as close as it gets here, I think.
I can be honest with you. I don't think I've ever seen an Aston Martin.
Can I ask you a question? If you have a Lamborghini or Ferrari, do you really care about Apple CarPlay Ultra? You're buying the car to drive it and go fast. I don't think you're listening to a lot of music. Maybe I could be wrong.
I don't think the people that I've seen that drive them, they wouldn't track that car out if they wouldn't drive that car fast if their life depended on it. They don't know how to drive. It's people who are buying a Lamborghini. They're not, at least the ones that I've seen that own them. They're not tracking that car out. They're not driving down a St. Louis interstate at 145 or 155 miles an hour. That vehicle's never seen 150. It's never seen triple digits. They're buying it because they're flexing because they have a Lamborghini and you don't. That's what that is.
That's exactly right. Yeah,
they're not getting into that car because they're going to do the Nürburgring in 7.5 minutes. Like they're not doing that. It's just a.
Well, it's interesting because Android has their own Android Auto that's more advanced than just the Apple, Android CarPlay or whatever. But I don't know if it's what companies support that. Like obviously, Apple only supports Aston
Martin.
Martin.
Think. I to be honest with you, knowing how much of the market share Apple has, I don't even think other car manufacturers even consider Android Auto. Like it's just
if they do CarPlay, they also do Android Auto. It's just a protocol, I would imagine, that they have to support.
But I feel like it's not like this seems like looking at this article and looking at like some of the screens here, this kind of looks like a little more fancier. And they said somewhere here that they want it to reflect the automaker's look and feel. So I think this is kind of like a custom CarPlay Ultra that's specifically for the Aston Martin.
Well, that makes sense. Android's doing the same thing. They're going to start accessing the dash cam. They said they're going to start I have a Chrysler product for a minivan, and Devin can relate. Maybe not 100%, but like when I put Android Auto on to get access climate control, you got to hit a separate button, which takes you out of the entire. So I think all these manufacturers want a little bit of, and Android's known for that. Let's slap a new UI on it. So I would think Android would be more like, hey, let's get this out to manufacturers, let them customize a little bit, but let's take a lot of control. I don't know. But Apple Jason, beat them to the punch.
You have a Tesla, right? So, and you were saying that you don't get any kind of Android Auto.
Tesla does not support Apple or Android Auto. No, they don't support either one.
Now, can you force that with like a dongle or something?
No. So there is so you have one screen, at least in my car. I don't have the S, I have the 3, so it has one screen. You can buy the secondary screen that goes right in front of the steering wheel, and you can add that functionality. But honestly, I don't really need it because with Bluetooth, it works just fine. And unfortunately, they have the premium connectivity package, which is like $80 a year, and it includes unlimited LTE service, so you can stream YouTube Music, Apple Music, Google Map, or their version of Maps, YouTube, Netflix, TikTok. Like it's self-serving. So if you pay that $80 a month, anywhere you're at, you're gonna have service. It just goes to their system, and I don't think their system is really that bad.
$80
a year. $89 a year.
I can swing that.
It's stupid if you think about it, because like any other car, you just plug your phone in wirelessly or physically, and you have Android Auto.
Yeah. And Tesla doesn't get OBD codes either.
Yeah.
So
they kind of do, and they kind of don't. There's an OBD port. There is an OBD port in the driver's.
Yeah, but they don't publish the code, so it throws you a bunch of codes. Well, and if you take it to anybody but a Tesla dealership, they're not gonna know what the code is.
Right.
They'll throw.
You go to the menus.
If you
go to the menu and you hold on, you tap on the model number for 3 seconds, like a little wall drop thing happens. It says enter code. You type in service, and you have access to every code, every module. So when I bought my car, I had a garage door opener installed. So when I pull up to my house, it automatically opens my garage door. It's just using HomeLink. And when the guy installed it, he left. And then the next day it stopped working. So I went into service, went to that module, hit reset, no problems ever since. So it's not like a secret for most Tesla owners to have that. There is an OBD port. I just don't think it's used like in the sense of diagnosing, because they have their own diagnostic software. But yeah, it's something that
nobody's going to work on it.
Yeah,
right.
You can't take that. That's the problem with the Tesla. You can't take it to any garage.
Well, what's interesting is I need a tire rotation. Every 6,200 miles, you need to do a tire rotation. So I went to the Tesla app. I'm like, I don't trust any local dealerships to work on my car because I don't know how the battery is. They literally came to my house. Tesla drove to my house, lifted my car up, rotated tires, and it was like $50. Nice. And drove away. It was like 15 minutes.
Oh, fun fact. When you get your oil change, rotate your tires.
Yeah.
Do it every 5,000 miles.
I don't change my oil.
Yeah, nor do I. I'm sorry. Oil changes.
That's okay. You don't.
I always rotate my tires every other oil change.
Tire rotation should happen with the oil changes.
I always did my tire rotations every other. I changed mine every 3,000 miles though. My oil. So every 6,000 miles they were getting rotated. Yeah.
Now, can I just
every time you change your
oil, can I just point out something here? So I'm just reading at the bottom here. So it's saying that it doesn't specify whether or not this version of CarPlay Ultra will work with the latest version of Siri. They haven't even figured out fucking Siri on CarPlay Ultra and an Aston Martin.
And could you imagine the person driving the Aston Martin like having that British accent, like trying to talk to
Yeah.
I'm
oh
just
my
kidding. I'm just
god.
kidding.
Yeah, it's just a comedy of errors.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. The more I know they're a $1 billion company. I know I've said it before, but I feel like we're seeing this company just fucking treading water here.
No, they got a great marketing opportunity right now.
They do.
Jason Statham, Transporter 15, whatever they're on now, driving that Aston Martin, and when he's driving, he can say, "Hey Siri." He could talk to Siri while he's driving, trying to transport. People are like shooting at him, and he's like, kicking him in the face, and Siri can be helping him the whole way, like Kit from Knight Rider.
Now, I would love to have Kit as my voice, as my assistant. Like the voice of Kit as my assistant.
So you want to be Hasselhoff?
I want to be Hasselhoff.
Okay.
Now, can I just speaking of transport, this is actually another good segue. We're rolling through today. I want to show you something that I stumbled across my desk in an email the other day called the Volonaut bike. And I want this is not clickbait. This is not fake. This is a legit flying motorbike that's coming out next year. And I want to show you, there is a video somewhere here if I can find it.
I saw it on YouTube in my feed. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, I want to show you the video because the video is fucking incredible. Like it's...
Could it be faked?
No.
Sure.
It sounds like
it's 100%.
I think it could be.
So I'll just pull the volume down so you guys can see this. But this is the
It looks cool.
Volonaut air bike. Now,
Michael Bay did this video, by the way.
What'd you say?
Michael Bay did this video.
Michael Bay did this video.
Now, as you watch this, I want you to tell me what this reminds you of, because it reminds me of something very specific.
Hold on.
Now, you're going to get a close-up in just a second.
From Star Wars.
Thank you. That's exactly what I was thinking of.
I get Transformer vibes, like floating through this. He said Michael Bay.
Again, you got a Michael Bay vibe, and then you get basically the races on Tatooine.
Yeah, that's true.
So was this just
no fucking way, dude?
Here's my problem. Let's say we all start buying these next year. Where are you going to fly them at? You can't put these on the roads. There's no regulation yet.
Not yet.
Oh yeah. What do you need roads for? No, this is
trees.
I'm gonna hit a bunch of trees.
Yeah, I mean, clearly this has got to be so loud.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And how long does it last? Is it? It's running off battery, I'd assume.
Let's see.
This has got to be a 5.
I mean, look, it's definitely cool, but I don't know.
No,
exactly.
It looks scary. Like you just tip over a little bit and you'd fall off.
Yeah.
There's not a chance in hell.
I would definitely do this. I'm not buying
it. No, Sam.
Try this shit.
Sam.
Not buying it. I'm not even getting.
That's the new Ford Mustang.
To drive.
I'm down.
The Mach EE.
I'm gonna pause it there just on that little shot there. So apparently, according to the Volonaut website, this is their air bike. It's 7 times lighter than a typical motorcycle.
Of course.
Carbon fiber materials.
Oh, it's expensive.
There are no spinning propellers, and it's extremely compact.
So what's it doing? The flow air?
I'm gonna.
Lots of air.
No, I don't know. It says it has a proprietary stabilization system enhanced by a flight computer with an automatic hover and ease of control for its rider. It can go, listen to this, up to 200 kilometers or 124 miles per hour.
Holy shit.
It says
when we talk about Star
Why don't you just going to fly it right into a
well, 124 is like, oh, that's not that big. Like, you've been on a boat that goes like 30 miles an hour. It feels like you're going like 100. This would feel like you're going like 1,000 miles an hour at 100 miles an hour. And you're going to, you fall off that, you're dead. You're done.
By jet propulsion.
Oh, wow. So this is going to be really loud.
So what are they, $4,000? I'm totally kidding. It's probably like $40,000.
No, I don't see any price yet. I want Devin, if you could look that up, I'll pull up.
Sure. Yeah.
You guys are looking up the price.
Heck yeah.
So I've actually got hang on. This is from Star Wars. Hopefully you don't get dinged for this, but this is actually the same company doing the comparison video. So this is actually from Volonaut's YouTube video. So here is the speeder clip. I'm just gonna again. So this is a Star Wars character on a Volonaut bike.
Oh my god!
Going through the forest. Like, this is
no, they just CGI'd the damn speeder out and put the ball in.
No, I think this is actually like a cosplay kind of thing. I think it's not from the movie.
Yeah, you can see his the GoPro.
The GoPro,
Yeah, you can see the GoPro. Yeah.
He's got like an Insta on the front there. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, fly it through some trees. That's even smarter. Hell yeah.
I'm gonna be honest with you, it fucking looks amazing to me.
It looks cool. It does. Like, really, I would try it, but I want to get some practice before I'm flying in the air, going 100 miles an hour, or 50 miles an hour.
This is going to cause so much destruction.
I know.
Yeah.
Yes.
You have to be so aware of what's under you.
You crosswalk, you burned everybody underneath you.
Yeah. Like.
Well, did you see when he flew through the tree line? Did you see the
ground?
Yeah. People are gonna get blown. Shit's gonna get blown out of their hands. They're gonna get stuff across the street.
Okay, hang on. I got a price for you.
Well, hold on.
190
Tech Disruptors are getting sponsored by them, right?
200 grand.
Okay, so that's
no
Sam's
answer.
estimate. Devin?
200 grand. I'm gonna say.
Jason.
I'm gonna say 80,000.
Devin.
I'm gonna go 115.
So
$1.
The estimated price currently is $500,000. $500,000. Now, having said that, we have one right here. No, just kidding. Having said that, if it gives you 124 miles per hour of speed and it doesn't last fucking 5 minutes, it might be something fun. If you had the money, it would be fun to
Bezos, Zuckerberg, they're going to have multiple ones of these. Yeah.
You have to have a place to use this.
Salt Lake City. You go out to Salt Lake City, go to the Salt Flats,
exactly.
something like that.
Somewhere like that.
A lake or something.
You know what I would love to do? Right off
downtown Columbus, Ohio. Let's do it.
What did you say?
Downtown Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah, that wouldn't fly probably.
No, it would fly. It just
it would fly.
Right.
Oh, it's
that's what
fly,
that was.
right?
No pun intended.
You have to pull up just the beginning of their website shows a looping video of it just destroying trees.
Do you guys remember Fast and Furious when they're in the Supra and they pull up next to the Ferrari and he's like Ferrari and he's like I can just see this video them pulling up one of these.
Listen, whether it comes to fruition or not, I just hope one day that we could see. I just want to see someone zipping around my fucking neighborhood, like
melting all the snow.
Yeah, melting all the snow, tearing up people's flower patches. I would love to see that shit.
Look, it's a good proof of concept. I think this is going to push things. I mean, we already talked about flying cars. What's that company doing flying cars? A lot of people are backing that company too.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's something that's interesting, but there's a lot of regulation that has to occur, especially like Devin said, it's jet propulsion. You can't just go over top people without burning their hair off or pushing them down to the ground.
Dude, do you understand when it comes to jet propulsion aircraft that you have to go through
safety,
an enormous amount of training and safety and FAA? And can you imagine some of the dipshits you're next to in traffic who can't even drive a fucking car that they're currently driving? Dude, there's not a chance in Hades.
There are some dumb rich people that would buy this and be really stupid on it.
Well, yeah, and let them. And you know what? They're just gonna pluck each other off one by one.
Darwin Awards, right?
And you're gonna hear, oh yeah, some human who's a famous like Sydney Sweeney flew a fucking volonaut into a wall, and she's all fuzz, guts, and eyeballs.
I hope it doesn't happen.
If you're a great actress, if you're a police officer and you worked on motorcycle crashes, this shit will scare you to death because people can't drive.
Right.
Much less the skill that you're going to need to navigate this thing safely. Not only crash yourself, but maybe run into, I don't know, buildings or pedestrians or I don't know, other cars. It's cool as hell. But come on.
Can I tell you a funny story? So I'm at the front of I'm going out to get something out of my car the other day, and my son is on the path with his buddy and his bicycle, and he's like, "Dad, did you know that Braden, his friend's bicycle, can sound like a motorcycle?" And I'm like, "Really?" And all of a sudden, so he grabs an empty water bottle and just crams it between the frame and the tire, and he just takes off down the street. And I'm going to be honest with you, with the ridges of the water bottle and the tires, it fucking sounded amazing. But I just kind of went, you know what? Like like when I was a kid, we used to use clothes pegs and a fucking baseball card and just in the spokes.
We use pop cans. Yeah, man. We use pop cans.
That's why you buy. Yeah, that's why you bought baseball cards. That's exactly why. You just clip them on.
Oh, that shitty player. Great, yep, that's a good one. We'll use.
Devin, this is back in the day when the wheel was just invented.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I remember watching a black and white movie about something like that.
Yeah, we just get introduced to mono sound on a movie.
Right. UHF. Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, I know that's a thing.
Yeah.
So one more quick.
It's cool.
I know that's a really cool thing. When I saw that, I was like, I gotta get one of those.
It's neat, but I don't think I would be the first to jump on. Honestly.
You know what I picture? You know, in the Star Wars movie where they fly into the trees and it explodes into like a ball of flames.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I picture. That's more what I think is going to happen. Yeah. That's
and then goodbye company. Yeah. Can we talk YouTube for a second? So YouTube's rolling out something that might be a little bit controversial.
Yes.
So I don't know if you guys heard about this. So they're Sam's fueling up.
Commercial time. Well, Darren, me and Devin. Now, Devin, you have a channel, and your channel's.
Hey,
there you go.
Hands.
So, Devin,
maximize the screen here.
Well, zoom in on his food.
You got your cheese balls. And you can't handle them because you get cheese hands, right? So you just got to dump them in the gullet.
You got to get those 3D printed like chopsticks for your gamers that they invented or something. Yeah. But Devin, now, my channel is monetized and so is yours. And I got an email or a message in YouTube Studio saying, starting like May 12th or something, they were going to start adding more commercials to help better monetize people or more money.
So they're adding more potential ad breaks.
Yep.
So it's not necessarily putting in more ads. It's saying like, we're going to, instead of just inserting an ad all the time at this specific spot in a video, there's like this spot, this spot, this spot, this spot, this spot that all could have a potential ad in them. And then they are trying to use AI to determine when people, when a specific user, when you watch this video, you're going to get an ad at this point because that's the most likely that you are going to watch the ad. And then this person is going to get a ton of ads because they always watch all of the ads, and YouTube loves that.
Right.
And this person doesn't get any of the ads because they always leave videos whenever,
or they're YouTube Premium members.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think from my point of view, like as a creator, that it's like, oh, good, more money. But like as a watcher, like if I'm not paying for YouTube Premium, it's more of a pain in the butt.
Well, I know. So for me, like my workout routine is on YouTube. So it's a guy that I follow on YouTube, and like a lot of the time, I get my workouts get interrupted by ads, but I take that as a moment to catch my breath while I'm dying. But what I'm getting at is I've noticed actually just in the past, I guess, week that where the ads used to be like purposely placed, like for example, like it will say, okay, in like the guy that's doing the workout routine will say, okay, let's take a break. Bam, get an ad. But now they're just popping up wherever the fuck they want. And that's messing up my flow of my workout. But, and according to this article, they're saying here that, what's the problem?
No, you're just like, it interferes with my workout.
It does. I mean, to be honest.
But it's free. But you're not paying anything for it. If you want to pay for free, go to that, what's that, BODI, Body? They used to be Beach Body, now it's Body. Go pay for something like that, then you don't have to worry about ads.
How am I gonna watch Let's Get Physical on repeat while I'm doing my fucking calisthenics routine in the basement? All right. But anyway, so they're using Google AI here, Gemini AI, to as it says here, identify parts of the videos that are emotionally impactful moments and suggesting they place an ad after it. So stupid idea.
I will tell you this. I have two. Obviously, I have a premium account and I have another account that's not premium.
Yeah.
And when I watch them on my non-premium account, it seems like a lot of times the ads are like cleverly placed. Like they actually do a pretty damn good job. I'm thinking, man, because they're not going through all these videos and trying to pick a spot. No. AI is. I mean, it's not always perfect, but I'm like, oh, here comes a moment. Just like on that, TV, like, oh man, they're really good at this. It's not terrible. But if you want something for free, you're going to have ads. Tubi, Pluto TV, they're all going to interject with ads. So I don't know.
So, I mean, I guess it is new, so it's going to take some time to kind of kick the tires and kind of figure out
how it works. Yeah.
But I guess my question is this too: is it because of this? Because now they have these either better placed ads and or more ads? Is it going to be people that are like, I can handle it because I knew at 3 minutes this ad was coming, I was going to ditch this video anyway. But now because it's become a little bit more kind of all over the place, they're going to like, you know what, screw it. I'm just going to go and pay for a premium account. So
yeah, that's exactly my point. Yeah,
right. I think it's more. I think it's a two phase, right? It's that, and also, you know, for creators, maybe they can get some better monetization because they're looking at more impactful, better targeted to Jason's channel or Devin's channel, or we technically have a YouTube channel, but we never monetize any of it, so it doesn't matter. But I wonder if it's both of those, right? It can be both things at the same time. I wonder.
Well, sounds like Google's going to win no matter what. Google's going to make the money.
Well, of course, they're in charge of shit. It's their platform. They're making billions of dollars off. Of course, they're going to make sure they leverage it for themselves.
The thing is it's already a tried and true system, right? Cable TV was literally built around ads. Like TV shows have a point where they're like something super exciting is happening. Hold on, ad break.
Well, you got to remember it goes back further than that too, because it goes back to the days of radio. Because the concept of the soap opera was that so they could sell cleaning products to housewives who were listening to the radio while they cleaned.
Well, it's just like I have Hulu, and you get to watch the live show the next. Not Hulu, like you watch reruns on Netflix of Friends or something, and you can see the ad breaks. Yeah, and it's interesting. And then when I don't have cable TV anymore. But we go to my parents' house. My kids are watching. They go, "Damn, there's a lot of commercials." I'm like, "They're not. It's not streaming. There's actually commercials when you don't stream."
Shit, watch broadcast TV when you're a kid. Their TV shows were 30 minutes, but really the actual broadcast show was actually 16 minutes of broadcasted content. The rest of it was advertisements on channel, ABC, NBC, CBS back in the day, right? They. Go watch ads from the 70s. They've been advertising to people forever for whatever. And to Darren's point, that was most women, housewives weren't working. They were at home in the afternoons and they were listening to something that was, well, depends on who you are, but it's still, but it's one of those things where, they were at home. They're homemakers, right? And that they were listening to stuff. And then that's why soap operas also have a romantic component, because that would engage
population targeting,
because it kind of it gave them something to kind of like fantasize about and kind of be interested in and kind of think about, and then that was it. So we've had ads forever, folks.
I think the one issue that I have is, so like I always kind of picture, okay, so let's say you're watching something on YouTube, and like they use an example of like a guy proposing here in this little clip that you see on screen. But are we okay with, I'll give you an example. Let's say someone says, "I'm going to kill you." They hold a gun up, and then they fire, and then cut to ad. And it's like an ad for bullets or guns or bulletproof vest, right? Like, are we okay with that kind of inputting into the narrative?
Well, I think if you're talking about firearms, I think we're in a completely different kind of conversation because of the fact that it's a strongly polarizing topic in the United States. Maybe not in Canada because nobody has a gun because it's Canada, right? They just have maple syrup and sadness, right? So,
wow.
Well, it's what it is, right? It's different in the United States. I think if you're talking more about a scene where somebody's going to get told that they're going to break up with them or a divorce or that would be more aligning with this kind. People are like, hey, do you always notice that? And I always tell people, if you watch TV shows, you almost know when episodes are going to end when you're watching any show, because they're like, boom,
that pisses me off,
week, right? And that's because well, and it's because, remember, that's an old school situation, right? Because that's how you can get somebody from a fall season to a spring season, because these are the days when you couldn't crush an entire season and shit, right? You had to wait till next Thursday night at 7 p.m. to watch where this thing picked up. And that's how they keep it going. And the problem is now is, how do you balance keeping engagement when people can just crush a season of Landman, right? You can just crush a whole season of it. And
streaming is very similar. Right? They don't have commercial breaks, but my wife likes to watch like Criminal Minds over and over, and I can't handle it. But all the episodes, just like Netflix, they're all the same. They start out slow, They start out slow, and then right at the end, everything is solved right at the end. But there's always a slight like cliffhanger. Yeah, and they keep you engaged.
Well, that's how TV is always
been. Streaming's different because you can watch the whole thing, except for Disney.
And that's why I liked. Well, that's why I like what Game of Thrones did. Right? They did not just release an entire. I think the worst thing we could do as a consuming population is have an entire season available for you from start to finish, because I've tried to do this. I was like, let's not do it. Like we're watching Landman right on Paramount Plus. It's a fantastic show. And we don't want to go like, you want to watch the next one? Yeah, sure. And the problem is if you've got, and if you notice, do you notice now that on regular TV, episodes were from fall to summer, right? There was the summer sweeps, right? And sweeps week, remember?
Oh, it used to be huge.
I know. Devin's like, what the fuck is sweeps week, right?
Nielsen,
But Nielsen reporting, right? Back in the day, but fall was when the new season started, and it would last all the way till June, right? Yeah. But if you gave everybody back in the day to watch All in the Family or The Cosby Show, if you gave them every goddamn episode, nobody would give a shit. By the end of like the September, they would have crushed the whole season. The whole ruination of enjoyment of television is the fact that they give you every episode and they go, we'll see you in 3 years.
Yeah. Well, and that's why Netflix does this. Like they have so many different sitcoms. They have like 18 different shows every week. And maybe one of those gets continued. Like there's been so many shows where like, I'm like, oh, it's a good show. 10 episodes, you binge them, never see it again. Yeah. That's the problem.
I mean, look, Fallout, right? It's not coming out until the end of the year. But I mean,
Fallout was delayed, wasn't it? Every once a week, like Last of Us every Sunday night. Yeah.
No, I don't know. I'm just saying though, is like the problem is now because of these things, you go in the show hole, right? And that's what they're doing on purpose, because then you'll get done with this episode and you'll steer to another content. Whereas people back in the day, if you had All in the Family or General Hospital or whatever your show was, you had your stories, right? You just watched that show and that's all you watched because there was content the entire 9 months. Yeah. But they want you to get into other shit, so you're like, okay, well, if I liked, and they'll even say, hey, if you liked Man, you'd probably like this
suggested content,
and you're like in that show hole, and it's such a crafted, completely. It's not inorganic. Yeah. It's completely done in a way to keep you watching everything all the time. It's really kind of sad. If you want to make money, sure. But I mean, it sucks that your favorite show has an 18 to 2 year cadence.
Well, Sam,
and that never happened ever.
You know what's happening at the end of the year? We're releasing all of the Tech Disruptors podcast just in one season. There are 40 episodes. And Jason's muted his mic.
Yeah, we did that with our show, and they're like, God damn, I don't want to watch this bullshit Jason. The first time, much less a rerun. And they just nobody.
Yeah, so I think people just want to see Jason.
This show.
I was just going to say the same thing. Yeah, like when you said that we're going to release the whole season, I was going to say, damn it, you beat me to the punch.
Sorry.
It's a box set.
Sorry, Jason's mic was muted. Yeah, box set. We're going to sign each one, Jason and I. The 6
Blu-ray. Here we
4K. go. 4K HD DVD.
Dolby
Laser disc.
Dolby Atmos. No, not even Dolby Atmos. Like whatever was before that. I don't even know.
Now, can we talk nothing for a second? As I know, Jason, you've been following this pretty closely. So,
what's that?
Kind of crushing
Carl.
The CMF. He's kind of crushing.
Who's crushing on what?
The CMF phone.
I love it.
Okay, so we'll talk about the CMF phone in a second, but I just want to talk about the other phone that was teased at this fucking Google fucking publicity stunt that was, what was it called? The Android show, I think it was.
Yeah, something like that.
They had a little clip of Carl Pei come out and say, we're really joyed to be partnered up with Google. Yank, toss. But then
like Samsung and everyone else, right?
Like everybody else was, yeah. But there's come out now that, the Nothing Phone 3, which is their quote-unquote flagship phone, is coming out very, very soon. But not only is it coming with what they describe as a flagship AI-based chipset, which I'm imagining is going to be like a Gen 3S.
No, it'll be the I bet it'll be the Elite.
It'll be the Elite? Okay.
Elite.
It better be. I don't know what they would be doing. Calling it finally going all in, being a flagship if it's not using a flagship chip.
Well, they're saying it's going to also come with a price hike, which is no surprises here with everything that's happening right now. The Nothing Phone 2 was how much, Jason, originally? Do you remember? It was like $799.
I can't remember. I've had the Phone 1 and the Phone 2, but they were never quite flagships. They were like right below.
Yeah.
My daughter's got I think it's this, I want to say the Gen 1. It's in
I think it was like $699, $799 approximately.
Yeah, it might have been $699. And they mimicked kind of like the OnePlus original recipe where it was like a couple $100 less than the flagship, but it supposedly offered most of the same features. But for reading this article, they're going all out. They're throwing everything in there and they're making it an expensive flagship.
How much?
Oh, I'm going to say $1,000 plus. Or maybe not. $1,000 or less. $999, $899. It's got to be somewhere around there.
Mm-hmm.
Devin?
No one's going to pay $1,500 for a Nothing phone. No one's going to.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Like, no. I mean, so no, maybe not $1,500. Okay. So in Canada, it's going to be fucking 10 grand. No matter what.
It's going to be 10 grand anyway.
In the United States, I'm going to call probably $11.99.
Here's the problem: no one knows nothing in the United States, so them offering a phone at that price isn't going to make them any money. It's like the CMF phone and the Nothing 3A Pro. They weren't even offered here in the U.S. You had to go through the beta program to pick them up. They only offered the 1, the 2, and the 3.
Are they going to go? Do you reckon they'll go carrier?
No. Well, they'd be smart to do that. Go with T-Mobile like OnePlus used to, but getting into one of those, T-Mobile would be amazing, but it's not going to happen.
Well, and they're going to run into what OnePlus ran into is nobody knows the brand. They don't care about the brand. It's not an iPhone. It's not.
It's about $1,000 they're saying here.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then they don't care. It's like they can't move motos at carriers either. The carriers will lose.
Well, here's the problem.
In the United States.
About Nothing is that it's just like every other Android person, Android developer or an Android phone, they all have their benefits. They all have their one UI, or not their one UI, their UI. Nothing is very interesting because they make even the CMF and Nothing brand. It's a little different looking. They have the glyph or the modular system.
Yeah,
their software is like OnePlus is so super optimized that even their budget phones, like the Nothing Phone 1. Blew my mind. I had no idea it had like a 7 series Snapdragon because it ran so much more smooth. Now, the Nothing 3A Pro and the CMF phone, I do see a little bit of stuttering. Maybe I'm just kind of more looking for it. But I think they're going on the path of OnePlus. I just don't know if at least in the US, it's very difficult to take off. If you're not Samsung or Apple, you're just, and Sam, and we've all talked about this before. I'm excited for the Nothing Phone 3, but I just don't. Without having carrier deals, no one's going to know about them.
Yeah.
And I want to preface this statement by saying that I don't want this to be what I'm going to say. Right? But if you do a survey of 15 to 25-year-olds in the US, 80% of them are using iPhones. Mm-hmm. Folks, let's just, it's coming. In 10 years, those are going to be the next people buying phones and handing phones down to their younger sisters or children. iPhone is going to win the day. In 7 years, 85% or 80% of people in the United States using phones will be using an iPhone. And the carriers are done. They've tried to penetrate. Xiaomi these other Chinese brands have just given up. They're like, screw it. Yeah. OnePlus tried and got their head kicked in. Xiaomi said, forget it. Vivo, Oppo, and Plus.
Huawei tried, but they got kicked out.
Well, again, this is the other thing. You have political forces at play here that are causing, and now in the United States, if it's Chinese, it's evil. Yeah. And because that's the narrative that the administration is selling. They just haven't heard when you go, Huawei, Xiaomi, Redmi, it's all Chinese.
Chinese is not evil.
And this shit's over.
Look, Darren. See this, Darren?
Right, it's not.
Chinese is not evil.
It's just not. But I'm saying,
I know.
And also because in the United States, in order to get in, you're going to need carrier input. And dude, walk into any carrier store. What do you see? You don't see Moto. No. Nothing is not going to have a chance in the U.S. And that's why they don't market here. That's direct. That's specific.
They'll make some sales, but it's not going to dominate anything. They're going to make some sales for sure.
If they sold 15,000 Nothing CMF phones in U.S., I would be amazed.
I'd be interested to know.
It'd be
interesting to know.
Well, you know what? I would be interested to know too. It'd be interesting to ask these companies, how many units have you sold in the United States directly?
Yeah.
And the answer is going to be none, zero, or very, very few. And it's just it's the dirty little secret in phones is that they just don't want to give it.
What happened?
Sorry.
You just stopped talking. I'm like, what happened?
No, I have dog. So, again, I say this with being 100% in on Android because of all the things that Android provides and all these other manufacturers. I want competition, but it's just as you walk every year, like I said, with the 17 series iPhones, they're going to sell millions of them no matter what they make the camera housing look like because they know they're in. They're in. And every kid, talk to a 20-year-old. Go, would you like to use the Samsung? Ew, fucking Samsung's gross.
Well, here's our question. So
bitch.
We have a question here in the comments. He says, curious to know from the four of you, what choice of phone is overall and what's the most important thing?
Okay.
So
let's go Devin. Let's go Devin first, and then we'll flip over to Jason.
Devin, because Devin's been kind of quiet. We need to get him talking a little bit.
Whoa.
Yeah, let's go Devin. So what is your...
Wait, what were we talking about?
What's your phone of choice? Like, what's your choice of phone, and what's the most important thing you look at when getting a phone?
Right
OnePlus?
OnePlus 13?
OnePlus 13. Very, very little reasons to switch over to anything else at this moment, but I looked at a couple of things. Camera, it's I have a ton of cameras, but I don't carry them around with me. This is the one that I carry around with me. So it's got to have at least a decent camera. I think it's not something that just because that phone has a 2% better camera, I'm going to go and buy it.
Right.
Like this one is great. I just need something with a decent camera in it.
Okay.
The camera, the battery life, I love. The battery is one of
It's really good.
That's important too.
It's so good in this phone. Yeah, I don't think people understand how impactful the battery is. I don't know. Maybe this is just one of my OCD
OnePlus
things.
is really good at optimization.
Yeah, the battery life on this thing is great. The and the other thing that I really like is the charging on this. So I take that into the battery too, right? Like just the fact that I can, I never have to worry. I rarely charge my phone at night anymore. Like, I wake up in the morning and I'm at like 30%. When I come down in here in the morning, I plug it into my fast charger, give it like 10, 15 minutes, like boot up my computer and log into everything. And it's at 100%. Like,
yeah. Okay.
It's insane. So that's one of the other reasons why I love this.
So charging or battery would be your primary feature.
Battery is a huge thing. I absolutely love that in this. But yeah,
what about you, Sam?
Important.
Pixel.
Okay.
Because you can't beat it software. And every time I try to come off, and this is I'm a huge Moto guy. Like I love Moto. Yeah. Nothing for dude. I would crush.
I'm surprised you didn't say Moto. Actually, honestly, that's what I thought you were going to say.
And I will tell you, and the reason why is because when I put my SIM in a Moto, spam.
Yeah.
Dude, Pixel across the board crushes all that. Live transcribe, admin, now playing.
Yeah.
The software features. No brand is bringing software features every quarter to a phone.
Yeah.
Period. End of story. Every time I try to switch, and here's the thing. I'm more of and I'm not a camera guy. So to me, the camera's not important. I mean, if it takes decently good photos, because most people, they're going to be sharing that picture, going to send it to their brother, their friends, share it on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, the Snapchats, right? That kind of thing. So not many people, if you say pixel peeping, people are going to know what the hell you're talking about.
No pun intended, right?
Nose and shit. Right. So at the end of the day, it's like for me, and that's the sucky part because I have a OnePlus Pad. The charging on is amazing. I love OnePlus's software. I've had OnePluses since the OG. I've had a 3T, a 5, a 6, all of it. But at the end of the day, no Android manufacturer is bringing consistent updates, right? Because Samsung was on a good run for about 2 years, and then this one UI 7 thing hit, and everybody's like all up in their feels about
first world problems.
Come on, right, exactly. but the problem is when I switch to my Moto, my Edge, or my stylus, I lose all those features, and it starts to become a problem. And I like having Gemini. I like AdMe, dude. I use that. It's actually And here's the thing: you really want to really freak people out. Use AdMe in front of a bunch of people who don't know AdMe is a thing, and watch their heads just go. Holy shit, dude!
What iPhone do you have?
Let's
what
take a
iPhone
picture
is
together.
That? Yeah,
right. And that's what I'm saying. And this is coming from a person who's had duos and all. I am the ultimate make people on the iPhone side of the world realize how much stuff they're really missing on their phones, and maybe iPhone will incorporate that. But for me, every time I try to get away from a Pixel, I just keep getting pulled back into its software. The fact that the camera, you can just take pictures and like astrophotography, AdMe. I can just take shots. I don't have to worry about computational this.
But Sam, what's interesting is Google's pioneered a lot of stuff like the astrophotography. Like they made it big. It might have been there before, but they made it big.
Right.
And they can take a 12 megapixel camera and make it seem like the best thing ever. Pixel is definitely one of the best phones.
And also you can get it. And the problem is I would love all these other Chinese options, but I just not available. And if you do, you're either compromising on software experience, carrier availability, or the fact that you can't get 5G in some places. It's just, again, as much as I love Moto, and I think it's undervalued, and I think it's criminally underrated. For me, every time I try to leave a Pixel, man, the software gaps are something I cannot overcome, and so I go back to that, which is a shame because I love OnePlus. I have a OnePlus Pad because I didn't want to buy a Pixel.
Yeah, but honestly, Sam, if you want a OnePlus or a Pixel, you can't go wrong with either one.
Exactly, they're
honestly,
both very
they're both really good phones.
And so for me, at the end of the day, I'm a Pixel guy. I just have to admit it, as much as I like other options. So
Jason.
Well, I have a lot of phones, and I've sold a lot of phones, and I agree with Pixel and OnePlus, Samsung. I've had the Vivo X200 Pro Ultra, for a while, and it's a Chinese-only phone, so it is a Chinese ROM. I would say 96% of what I need it to do, it does. There's that 4% like Android Wear OS doesn't work. Samsung's can work, even though it's Wear OS with a workaround. But either way, my major focus is cameras. I need a good camera. And I shouldn't say I need. I don't carry my DSLR with me or anything. So my kids are in sports. My kids are in, I have a newborn. Having the ability to take it, and I've been posting some on X. The Vivo X200 Ultra, by far, for me, is my phone I'm using. It's my main SIM is back in it again. I moved it back. I don't know. The software does bother me a little bit, but not enough to get me to stop using it. But I think but I had to import it. The company I imported had to load Google services on it, it's not really that hard. But the general public is not going to do any of that. They're not going to do the workarounds to get things to work. And even this, like I had to get an Amazfit watch to get a watch with that. But even that, like every 3 days, I have to restart notification access. Like it restricts notification access every 3 days. And there's no like battery optimization I haven't turned off. It's just really weird, but it's not a deal breaker because me and Darren had this conversation. I think if you're a general consumer with one SIM, and you're an Android, it's Samsung, Google, OnePlus. If you're more tech savvy, I think you have a lot more options like Oppo, Vivo, those kind of things. If you're willing to work around with it. So for me, it's cameras, and the Vivo by far, even though it's not a 1-inch sensor like the Xiaomi 15 Ultra, the pictures are just, even after the 200 Pro, I'm like, it just blows my mind just snapping and shooting how great the pictures are. Now, how much better are they than the Pixel or the OnePlus? Maybe 3%, but to me, it's just the color science, the Leica, the Zeiss, whatever, lenses and stuff like that. But I'm using the Vivo right now. That's my phone right now. I do have an S25 Ultra and the CMF, which I'm testing right now. But if you look at budget phones, the CMF phone 2, I know you're a big Moto fan. This thing is way too good to be at its price.
Right. It's just availability. Yes. People cannot walk into a local carrier or a Best Buy and buy a CMF. If they could, then you're in shape. Yeah. And I think the S25 Ultra is probably one of the best phones of the year, probably by far. Overall. Yeah, for sure.
For me, it's the S25 Ultra. I've had the Xiaomi 15 Ultra for the second time now.
Ultra.
you gotta come back to what you had to come back twice, right?
The first time around, I didn't think it was worth the money. And that was part of the reason that I sent it back, but I managed to find it reasonably cheaper through like a Facebook marketplace, and wanted to try it again. The camera is amazing on the Xiaomi, just like it is on the Vivo. But if I was going to pick one phone to use for the rest of the year, I would probably go with the Samsung. And I've never said that about a Samsung device ever. And I think just ease of use. It's North American friendly, like.
But Darren, is it part of the reason problem is that the S25 comes out so quickly at the first of the year that it's easily forgotten by the end, and people forget it's just as good as the Vivo because it may not have as good cameras, but it's got all the same specs. You know,
that's exactly
I think that's
right.
the problem. Yeah.
I mean, like I've talked to Jason about this, and I keep jokingly saying that I'm going to buy the Vivo just because I want to see how it compares to the Xiaomi, but. To be honest with you, like after using a few different Chinese phones in the last couple of weeks, I don't know if I can do it again. It's frustrating.
If you don't have more than one line, I would not suggest it as your main SIM. I'm doing it now, but in my head I'm like, oh, I can go back to this, put it in something else if I have to.
And I think I'm queuing on what Darren's going to say, or at least what he's maybe thinking is, we're so used to Samsung being I think for the first time, this S25 Ultra is like, holy shit, like this finally is like the greatest phone ever that Samsung, like people are kind of just like, but it's an S24 Ultra. It's an S23 Ultra.
You're going to have haters. You're going to have haters.
Yeah.
Right. But I think people, I think it kind of backdoored a lot of people. They like, okay, well, I'll upgrade from the S24 because it can't be that much better. And I think, at least for me, from listening to people like Darren talking about it, I think the S25 Ultra just kind of blew their whole fucking doors off. They're like, dude, this phone comprehensively is the best Android phone, bar none. Pixel, Vivo, nobody can get, unfortunately, that normies can't use. OnePlus, again.
Did you say normies?
That no. I mean, here's the thing. I want to ask Devin. Out in your day-to-day use, how many people have you run into with the OnePlus? And when you do, you're like, you're like, yes, right? But it's like maybe 5 people in your entire year that you run into.
I've never seen someone with a OnePlus, honestly. I see Pixels. I've Pixels a lot.
I've seen twice at a Walmart in the same day.
Wow.
Some I'm like, dude, I'm like, what the fuck? It wasn't the same guy. I checked. I asked him. I was like, are you the same dude that was just in here? You're just fucking doing some shit. But I think Darren's like, I think the S25 caught a lot of people.
100%.
It's just like, dude, after using it, I think this is probably the best Android device that's available in North America.
The S25 is a great phone. It's a great phone. I love it. I love One UI 7. I'm still having battery issues. I posted a short and people are like, oh, you're an idiot. Just plug it in overnight. If I'm paying $1,200 for a phone, I shouldn't have to sacrifice battery life and have to, use ultra saving mode. I shouldn't have to enable ultra saving mode when I sleep. I'm paying the money. The Vivo Ultra 200, now again, Chinese ROMs are more efficient by nature.
Yeah.
I have never, I've had this thing off the charger for 3 days and it's still at 40%. But I'm not using it all the time.
The problem I've had with yours, Jason's, is I cannot ever get past the notification problem.
It is. It's an issue.
Annoying. It's like, why I want all the notifications, stop guessing, let me have all of it all the time and everything else. And Chinese phones just go, nope, you don't get that. And you have to fight, battery optimization. You have to continuously fight. And then after you set it all up, you're good for a couple of days. And then all of a sudden it's like,
you have to be willing to go in there and change the settings. And that's what I'm saying. As for me, it's perfect because I've worked with Huawei before they were in America. So I know some of the workarounds, and you can look online. And like I was telling Darren, I had some issues with you call 1-800 number and it's like hit 1 for this, hit 2 for this, hit 3. And on Vivo phones, when I hit 1, it doesn't register. I restart the phone, make the same phone call. It works for like 30 seconds. Come to find out, I use Google Fi. All I have to do is eliminate the battery optimizations for Google Fi app, or just delete the app once it's activated, and it's fine. And it has been fine since.
And then I hear that. Then I hear all that, and then I hear "hold for me." I go,
the spam control on Pixel phones is great.
No, dude, I'm telling you, for as much as I have to actually use a phone to do things and be on hold, and hold for me is clearly to me, it's literally the godsend to being on hold. It's like I just set the phone down at work and I just go, fuck
Can
it, hold for me, and it goes. Boop, boop,
Till
boop,
Apple
that
does
goes.
it.
Okay, cool.
Can I just?
Well, I don't think Apple's going to do it. Yeah,
I was going to say, can I just add here? I'll tell you. So I've had a couple of experiences with the Xiaomi because I've got it in a case, like just a thing.
Ooh, I like that.
I still think it's a sharp.
It is a
phone.
nice phone.
It's a sharp.
So
phone.
here's the funny thing. So twice now, I've had people go, "Oh, what phone is that?" But not with that tone. I've had people go, "What phone is that?" Because they're just mortified at the size of the camera bump, which I don't know if you can see in the photo. Is enormous.
It's
so Darren,
it's almost like it's almost the top third of the phone.
So it's bigger than the MagSafe,
right?
Like that's how.
When I had the Xiaomi 14 and I had the camera kit, I went to like a recital or a play, and because the zoom on the Xiaomi 14 was like it's good enough 15. People were like, "Is that a camera?" No, that's a phone. Like they were interested, but they're like, "Yeah, we have an iPhone. Like we don't care."
Right.
I want to see somebody with the 200 Ultra with the big lens. It's like $400. I'm not doing it, but I'm like, I just want to see
that look so dumb though.
It looks like
very phallic. It's very a phallic symbol there.
Yeah.
And then you go. Then you know what? It's from China. I ordered it directly.
Well,
so
Sam.
awesome. And they'll be like,
so here's the thing. So OnePlus, so Nubia. I know we're almost to end here, but Nubia released the Z70 or the 70S Ultra.
I forgot they're making.
Well, and when you go to the website, they sell it for North or global or US. You can buy it in the US. And I've had them before, and they work great in the US. They actually have a camera kit for it now. Yep. But what I'm interested, it says if you look on like Gizmodo or a website with specs, it says the Snapdragon Elite, but their damn website says the Gen 3.
Huh.
And I was like, something's not right there. But anyways,
it's translation.
Exactly what it probably is. But like everyone's doing camera kits, and I don't know when Samsung and Apple are going to jump on. Samsung's already allegedly working on something. I think that's the next step. Like, let's put 1-inch sensors in these small cameras, but let's add an extra lens.
I wouldn't be surprised if Samsung kept the same cameras next year and had an attachment.
They need to get they need to get bigger.
No,
I know you can do a lot with small sensors, but
they can make money selling a case that has a fucking lens attachment on it.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Exact same cameras. They got a 200 megapixel one on there anyway, right? So
right.
And I just can't imagine Apple.
No, Apple's never
doing
doing
that. I don't think their users really are clamming for any kind of.
No, because they're the best cameras already, so they don't need it.
I honestly think that Apple's end game is already ahead of us. Apple's end game is going to be 48 megapixel sensors on all three cameras.
Darren, did you read the article? By 2027, they're releasing a bunch of new products, and it's going to blow us all away. That's what they're saying.
Of course it is. Yeah. Well,
we know Trump's already saying, "Hey, Apple, you can't build in India. We're telling you, you need to build your phones in America."
Yeah.
If that happens, I'm telling you right now, the iPhone's going to cost. I'm sorry, Devin. I'm not trying to get political.
$8 billion.
It's going to cost $1,600. You can't tell me American workers are going to settle for less than $40 an hour to build a phone. They're just not going to. So.
Plus, in Canada, that'll be $700 million.
No, we're not going to sell to Canada because you won't work with us, so we're not going to sell them to you.
Buy a flying bike or get an iPhone. Yeah. I think I'm going to go.
Yeah, seriously, flying bike at the phone.
Well, for $500,000, I'm in. Yeah.
Well, one thing I will mention, just as we wrap up the show, I just started a GoFundMe while the show was on.
Oh, Jesus.
So if you're interested, I'll put the link in the description.
Hey, you got to post it on X. Okay.
I'll post it on X. Yeah. Oh, that's right. That's correct. Yes. And then I'm going to return the bike and keep the money. But
Jesus.
I know. How many times can we drill that bad one back? But anyway, that actually brings us to the end of today's show. I want to say a big thank you to Sam and Devin for joining us today. Love having you guys on. I love where our conversations go. And
sometimes.
And then you get me like downing a bunch of cheese balls into my face hole. Yeah.
I'm going to make sure that's the short.
You should have zoomed in as soon as he was.
Dude, I love balls. Yeah, it's made of cheese.
Jason,
I see
this week.
Okay, the short is going to have to include what he just said.
That might be next week's thumbnail, I think.
Right.
Oh, there we go.
Oh my God, a screenshot of him down in balls.
It's practical. I don't want to get.
But here's the problem with that, Devin. We get it, but I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Oh, dude, without context, that is a terrible
Like,
take.
I don't get it.
I don't care. I'm here for it.
I'm gonna put him with the balls in his mouth and say, "I love balls." That's the thumbnail.
No. You need to have like, you know what you need to do? Have him doing that with like the little data, like the I's and O's flowing to his mouth, not the balls.
No. I love balls. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just playing.
Anyway, for those of you who are listening on Spotify and are wondering what we're talking about, Sam was eating cheese balls out of a container today, live on the air.
Right behind him.
Right behind him. In case you're listening and not watching, but for the record, we are available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Good Pods, YouTube Music. And if you like, Jason will send you a cassette recording of today's show.
Yes.
If you send him a mail to PO Box 6969, Ohio.
I want to know if you do it on 8-track, I'm so in. Just saying.
We'll do VHS. We'll do 8-track. Betamax. Yeah, we'll do Betamax. We'll do the reels, whatever you need.
I'm in.
On that note, guys, that brings us to the end of another Tech Disruptors podcast. We are back next Sunday, 4 p.m. Eastern, as we are every week. Actually, no.
We're not going to be here next Sunday.
Next Sunday, we're taking a little break because it is a long weekend in the United States, at least.
Yes.
I'll be sitting here talking to myself for the day. But for the rest of us, we'll be back not next week, but the week after with a brand new show. And
so, Darren, are you going to do the show by yourself next week?
I'm gonna talk to myself and then put on a wig and be like, Devin, and put on a wig. Take off my wig.
Frankly, is gonna do the show by himself.
Yeah.
He's gonna put on a wig. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be fabulous.
And you guys know what my day job is, so that wouldn't be out of the ordinary.
There you go. It's true.
Sounds fun. And I
like
on
that note. Yes.
Male stripper.
Yes, that's right. That's true. Put the wig on my nuts. On that note, we're gonna wrap up there. Thank you very much for listening. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace.